wanted to show you all today. My keyboard's in the way there. Sorry about that. I'm in my work office today instead of in my soaping room. I thought I would show everyone today what I've been working on. I've been trying to design a little box. That little black mark there you see was where I had the tape stuck to something and the paint came off. I've been trying to design a little box that will hold my soaps. This is just made out of regular old printer paper you get at the store until I'm sure about the design. But so far, I think it's working out pretty good. I do know that this box is going to be 3.5 inches tall, 4 inches wide, and 1.5 inches thick. So that's what we're going to be working on today. I plan on of course, you can make this out of any paper you want. I chose to use a standard size. I like to make my projects out of standard size sheets of paper so that if for some chance I can't get decorative paper, if I run out or whatever, if I don't have decorative paper, even if I don't want to use decorative paper, you could just use standard size. I mean, of course, I could take anything. I could take butcher's paper, or I could take any type of paper and make a box out of this. Walmart also sells, a lot of people sell this, but I got this particular one at Walmart. Walmart also sells cardstock. It's not the thickest cardstock in the world, but it is plain white cardstock that is 11 by 8.5, and that's just it's the same as the other standard size printer paper. So I like to use this sometimes. I like to buy, because sometimes you can get the decorative paper. I'm all over the place, and I am very sorry about that. But sometimes you can get the decorative paper that isn't, it's on sale, but it's not as thick as this. So sometimes I like to use sticky tape, double-sided tape, to cover this with this thicker paper with a decorative paper, and then I can make my boxes or bags or whatever out of that. So, but today we're just going to be using just a standard old plain white sheet of paper. Just a very thin white sheet of paper. Alright, so I'm going to make several lines here on my paper. The first one is going to be at 3.5, and then the next one is going to be at 5, and these are inches, by the way. For those of you who don't use inches, I'm sorry, I don't know the conversion for it. I'll try to get the conversion to put it in the description, but there's no promises. Then I need to make another 3.5, so I'm going to go down to 8.5. Now my ruler here, I got this at a store called the Dollar Tree. I got a pack of 3 for $1, and it's a pretty nice ruler, except for the lines wear off. The paint didn't adhere apparently or properly. So, and then you need to go 1.5 inches from so we've got a line at 3.5, 5, 8.5, and then we need a line at 10 and at 10. Those are inches. So now I have the lines planned out for where I need, or the marks planned out for I need to make the lines that I need to fold on. So now I'm just going to use a straight edge here to make those lines all the way across my sheet. And now my box is probably going to be a little wonky. I may have to make some quick adjustments at the end because I'm talking and I don't usually do hair. Sorry about that. I don't usually do very well when I'm trying to talk and pay attention to the camera and draw lines, and I usually get ahead of myself somehow. So just try to keep up as best you can. So okay, now we have. This is going to be the front side. This is the bottom. This is the back side. This is the top, and this is the flat. So now we need to make the marks for our sides. Now we need our sides to be 1.5 inches, but we only need, this is an 8.5 wide, and we only need 4 there on the sides. So, or we only need 4 in the middle. the hair is getting on my nerves. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark 3/4 of an inch over from each side. Like I say, my lines here on these are pretty worn off, so right now it's a guesstimate of where 3/4 of an inch is. Mark off 3/4 of an inch off of the end here. And that's just so that the little flaps on the side of your box are 1.5 inches wide like the bottom. If not, then you're going to have overlap and it just can get messy. You don't have to do this. You just can trim it later, but I like to go ahead and do it. And now we need 1.5 inches from that line. So let me see if I can find something here that will allow me to mark 1.5 inches. I gotta get a new ruler. Just do 1.5 inches from each of the first lines that you made on the side here. So this is 3/4 of an inch. Oh, you can't see me. I'm sorry. This is 3/4 of an inch, and then the next line over is going to be at 1.5 inches, which will give you the same width as the bottom of your box, which is important if you want your sides to be even. But like I say, if you don't want to mess with this first 3/4, you can't see me again. I am so sorry. If you don't want to mess with this first 3/4 of an inch line, let me see if I can. If you don't want to mess with this first 3/4 of an inch line, you could just do, just do the one first one. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm a little off kilter. So now I have all my lines drawn out. Like I say, my first line was at the 3.5, then 5, then 8.5, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, like I say, all these directions will be down in the description. So now it's time to fold the box. Now, folding the box I found is easiest. Let me see if I can do this where you can actually see what I'm doing. I find the box easiest to fold. Just make it so you can barely see. I know I can't show you, but just make sure the line is barely visible there on the edge. And then make sure that your sides here are perfectly lined up. Because if you use straight from the store printer paper or something like that, the sides are usually pretty even, and it'll help give you a straighter line across. Or I find it helps to give a little bit of a straighter line across. Now this box is sort of forgiving in the fact that if you don't get it right on the line, it's not going to matter that much if you don't get it right on the line. It's not going to be like the worst thing in the world. Try to get it as close as you can. And of course, if I were doing this off camera, it would take me much longer and I would be much more prepared, and not much more prepared, but much more careful so that I can know that I got it exactly right. Okay, so now there's actually two. Let's see if you can see that. I don't know if it'll pick it up. See here, there's 2 lines here. Oops. Hold on a second. It's right here. See these 2 lines? You're only going to fold on the furthest one in, because the last one here, this last part, is going to be cut off. So just fold where you marked 1.5 inches on the side. Because you can fold the first one, but you're going to cut it off, so it really doesn't make a difference. Alright, so now it's time to do some cutting. If I can find my scissors, they're hidden back behind the camera. So now I'm going to trim off these. Now I have one of those dilly-dallies downstairs that allows you to just slide the little plastic piece down and cut in a straight line. I didn't go all the way down in the basement to get that, so these lines are not going to be perfect, but that's okay, because nobody's perfect, right? Just get them as good as you can get them. It's just the side of the box. Who cares, right? Anyway, so now we have that. The color just changes because my computer screen went off. All right, so now we're going to cut the sides, cut down. This is the length of your box, and these are the sides. Let's see. See here? You want to cut, can you see all these little lines here? Those are the ones you want to cut. Just cut straight down them. I'm having to get off camera a little bit because I can't really see. Now you want to be much more careful than I'm being right now. You want to make sure that you're cutting on the lines. But now, see, I cut that one off. I cut it across and I cut it off because this is our flap for the top. So you can go, I'm not showing you. See here, I cut instead of just cutting down the line like I did here, I also cut up the line for this to make a flap. We'll come right back to that. I'm going to go ahead and cut down this other side. Just cut down the little lines that you made, and you should be fine if you fold it close to them. If you didn't fold on the line, of course you want to try to hit the fold. But all right, so that's our cuts. Now I'm going to take, see these here. Now this part here is our lid part. The part I have here in my hand is our lid part. And then we have these little flaps on the side. Those will be the ones that you typically would tuck in. These little flaps you would tuck in to the top of the box. Now I'm going to angle all of this stuff off. I'm going to cut, this is no exact science here, but I'm going to cut some of these off. Just make it a little shorter. And then come in at an angle and cut these at an angle. It just helps it go. Let's see if I can. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing there. Just come in at an angle and cut at an angle. It just, let's see. Can you see what I'm doing? Can you see that there? I don't think you can, but just cut them at an angle so that it goes from square to looking like a little. See it there? Yeah. Just cut that at an angle. And then also, see this flap here? Just come in and cut it at an angle as well. You see it there? Just pull that off. Alright. So now that we have that, it's time to assemble the box. So I like to pull these. See, I didn't cut quite deep enough on that one. I'm rushing because, you know, if you've ever uploaded anything to YouTube, the longer your video is, the longer it takes to upload. And let's face it, nobody wants to spend 90 minutes doing that. So you just bring up see there, you tuck these flaps, tuck them inside. I like to press them down a little bit. And then you bring the front of your box up. And then, actually, you could do it either way, but you need to bring your front and your back together. Hold on. Before I do that, I always like to flip the flap backwards. So you just bring these up together so that they'll create, you see that there? Just bring those up together so that they create a box. Now I just have some tape. You would want to use sticky tape or something of the sort. I actually like to use hot glue to assemble my boxes. But you can use double-sided tape, or I'm just trying to, let's see if I can do that. Just trying to square off the box with my fingers. And then just tape it down so that, of course, you will want to do, like I say, double-sided tape inside so that you can't see the tape outside. Of course, if you don't have any, then you can just do what I did. And just, so I'm just balancing that box out like that. But you can, if you don't have sticky tape, you can just do what I did and just, or double-sided tape, I'm sorry. You can just use regular tape, you know. depends on what you're going to do with it. You know, if you were a soaper that sells soaps, you would probably want to use something pretty if you were shipping it to a customer. But, you know, I'm not a seller that sells, or a soaper that sells soaps to the public. Well, to anyone. But, not, at least not yet. So to me, you know, this would just be a gift or something like that. Or maybe a way to store my soaps so that they're not constantly beaten and battered by the air. But that would be your box. You can see there. Like I say, it's 1.5 inches thick by 3.5 inches tall by 4 inches wide. I don't know what your soaps are like, or even what the standard cold processed soap or glycerin soap size is. But this box for me would give me enough room for my soaps. Plus, it would give me a little bit of room for some tissue paper or decorative paper. And then after you have that done, kind of tilt your lid back the other way and give it a press with your fingers. Tuck your tabs back inside. And then just close up your box. And there you have it. Like I say, you would do that. You could do this box with decorative paper, wax paper, butcher's paper, cardstock like this, the thicker cardstock. Also have, I think I also got this at Walmart, black cardstock. I think that would be really pretty if you had that. I also have, my husband bought these last year for me. They are, I don't remember where he got them, but they are metallic permanent markers. They're really pretty. So if you had like the black, you could just do you know, just write a little message on there. Of course, that's gonna come out backwards for you. I don't think you can read that. It just says my soap. So you could do that, or you could put a tag or whatever. But like I say, this box is very, very simple. And it holds a bar of soap that is 4 inches wide, 3.5 inches tall, and 1.5 inches wide. So there you go. Like I said, I'll try to put all the instruction measurements on the bottom. I may try to do a file, a photograph, a drawing, a sketch of the box, but it will not be a box that you can, or a template you can print out and do to size. I'm not that talented yet to do that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Happy soaping. Bye-bye.